Hey, what is up? It is Chef Dan from Flavor Fit Food, and today I have a great recipe for you, one of my go-tos. It is a bison meatball that is not only super easy, but higher in protein and lower fat than a normal meatball. Let's get into it. Alright, so first up, we have a white onion. You're going to need 1/4 of it, so break it down, save the rest for something later, and we're just going to make it into a small dice, or you can mince it up really fine if you like. Next, we have 1 whole clove of garlic. Same thing, I'm just going to mince this up as fine as you like. I like to mince mine down pretty well, and we're just going to dump it in this bowl with this white onion. Next, we have flat leaf parsley. I love this in my meatballs. It adds a ton of freshness to the dish and really packs a punch of flavor. Alright, and from here, rejoice, the knife work is done. Now we need our ground bison. This is some natural ground bison that I got from Kroger. We're just going to pop this open and get it in our mixing bowl. After that, we're going to weigh out 1 ounce of grated Parmesan cheese. I recommend not using something like a Kraft. Like most grocery stores, you can get a better option than something like that, and it really makes a big difference in this recipe. After that, we just have a standard Progresso Italian breadcrumb, and we're just going to take the breadcrumbs and sprinkle them over the rest of our meatball mix. Next, we're going to take 1 egg, which is going to bind our meatballs together and also adds a little bit more protein to our meatballs. And now we are going to add 1 teaspoon of salt to really just round it out and bring out all of the flavors that we have put together here. Alright, now it is time to mix these up. Nothing too fancy here. Just get in there, pinch it, mash it. Just make sure they're mixed up really nice. And now we're going to be ready to shape our meatballs. And now it's going to be on to the most time-consuming part, which is weighing and shaping these. We're going to weigh them into 2-ounce meatballs. Shaping, nothing to worry about here. Just roll them around in your hand until it looks like a meatball. When you finish up, you're going to end up with some meatballs that look something like this. And now they are all ready to cook. I prefer this cast iron skillet that I have here because we are going to throw them in the oven. You could use a nonstick, just make sure you don't put up your oven too high. And in this cast iron, we're going to pour 1 tablespoon of olive oil to sear our meatballs. And now we're just going to slowly add these to the pan. You can see I let it get hot enough. Right when it started smoking, that is when I put the meatballs in the pan. Once we get all the meatballs in the pan, we're just going to let them sit there. Don't try and move them around. Just let them sit there for 1 to 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, you can kind of flip them like I did here. Also, I'm using this cast iron so I can use this metal fish spatula to get under them. I wouldn't use a tong if you're using a cast iron. You're probably just going to break them. But if you're using a nonstick, you could use something like a tong or a rubber spatula. So I'll let these ones sit another minute or 2 on this side, and then I'm just going to flip them over. Again, I like to do 2 to 3 flips, kind of get as many of the raw sides seared as possible. Now we have our meatballs, and they are looking beautiful. They are ready to go in the oven. I have my oven preheated at 325 degrees. Not too high, not too low. We're just trying to get a nice, gentle cook on these. We don't want to make them dry. So after 12 minutes, I am going to pull them out, and they are done. They are cooked, and they are looking absolutely beautiful. So now I'm going to pull up a slide. We're going to go over the calories and the macros of these bison meatballs, and then I'm going to share with you some strategies and some ways you can use them in your diet to help you build fat or lose muscle. So first of all, if you haven't taken a bite of one of these things yet, you should do it because they are absolutely amazing tasting. And as you can see here, each one has 112 calories, 12 grams of protein, 2.5 grams of carbs, and 6.5 grams of fat. And you can use these in a variety of ways. You can use them in just like a traditional spaghetti and meatballs, using like a lower calorie tomato sauce, or make your own tomato sauce. I like to eat them over rice or brown rice with vegetables. You could find some kind of like a whole wheat sub bun. You could make a bison meatball sub. You could do a lot of different things with these. Typically, I like to eat them later in the day because I usually like to eat around like 3 of them, so that is like 300 or 400 calories around. So I like to save it for the end of the day when I'm eating like a big meal. And this is actually a picture of after I shot this video. I made this meal. It was like 2.5 ounces of spaghetti, some low calorie tomato sauce, and 3 of these meatballs with a cup of spinach and some fresh basil on top. And it was absolutely amazing. It was super filling. I ate it like a 300 calorie deficit for the day, and it was a really satisfying and rewarding dinner. Just a great way to kind of end the day of eating. But as I said before, these are really truly delicious and very simple. I like these. My wife loves these. You know, we make them quite a bit, and you can actually you could double the recipe very easily and then freeze the other half of the meatball mix. Just weigh it, divide it by 2, and take half of it and throw it in the freezer, and you could thaw it out to make them a different day. You could even cook them and freeze them, like I've done it all. It's a big staple around my house. So if you like the video, make sure to hit subscribe and smash that like button. I am Chef Dan from Flavor Fit Food. Let me know down in the comments what kind of foods you guys would like me to make in the future, and I will catch you next time.